Moving on. Next question. It was a good question, James. Next one is Susie. He says, do you have any type of contracts for your link building? The rest of you? Nope, I don't work on contracts. Never have. Now, I'm not going to say never, but I never liked working on contracts for two reasons. Number one, if I'm, I think it should be pay for performance, pay for results, right? If I'm building links for a client and the links are producing results, they should want to continue buying links from me. If my links aren't producing results, they should be able to cancel at any time. They should not be locked in to using my service if they don't feel the service is working for them. Likewise, and this is part of the reason why I don't do contracts, I don't want to be forced to work with a customer or client that turns out to be a pain in my ass because I'm contractually obligated to work with them. You see what I'm saying? I'm not kidding. We just had a lady that booked a call with my salesperson for semantic links. So she calls herself a marketer, right? A local business marketer. And she booked a call with my sales guy. He had a call with her. He told me in the message about the call that like it was a strange call and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, long story short, she ended up booking a call with me, a 15-minute support call with me for semantic links. I got on a call with her, had a quick chat with her, told her, look, I can't give, because she was asking me for recommendations about this campaign and that. And I told her, I don't do that. I need to look at data. Here's the link to competitive link analysis form that you can request a competitive link analysis report for each one of the campaigns you want me to review. I'll send you the campaign analysis plus my review, in a video format, my review and recommendations of the services that we provide. You're not obligated to buy anything, but if you decide to, the competitive link analysis report plus my video review and recommendation will tell you exactly what I recommend from our services, and I explain why I think those are going to be effective. So I try to explain that very thoroughly so that you're confident in understanding why I made those recommendations and that you will feel comfortable in proceeding with purchasing links from us. So always try to be very thorough in those types of analysis and explanation. So anyway, she submitted the order. Well, she purchased, she checked out, but never submitted the order details. You have to, when you check out from my system, you check out and then you log back into the dashboard or you get a notification email or whatever that has a link that says, make sure to submit your details, and you go back into the dashboard and there's a great big blue button next to the order that says start order. You click that, it takes you to the intake form, and it's either a form that you fill out or it's a file that you download, complete the file like an Excel file with the details, the cells, there's instructions, and then you resubmit that back. And that is when you submit the information, is then when it triggers for my team to start, start the work, whatever it is. We don't even get notified that an order is ready to start working on until the order details have been submitted. Do you understand? This lady never submitted a damn thing. And so I followed up with her a couple of days later and said, hey, please make sure you click the blue start order button from the dashboard. I even linked to the dashboard screen. We can't start this without the order details. So she replied back, a day or two later with, hey, I'm looking for an update. I ordered this, 5 days ago, and it said it was going to be delivered in 5 days. I replied back, you'd never submitted the order details. How can we start an order when we don't even know what we're auditing, what we're reviewing? You need to submit the details. Anyway, here's the short of it, right? We went through this back and forth. My support, my executive assistant Hazel, she does some support. Our support manager for Semantic Mastery is also doing a little bit of support work for me now too. So Chris Greenhow. But anyways, Hazel, my assistant, she replied back too, even with step-by-step instructions. Like, click on this link, go to the dashboard, click the start order button, complete that form, right? Or the instructions that it says to submit your order details. She ended up sending us a shitty message like, this is ridiculous. Because, by the way, it was a magic sign-in link, guys. You know how a lot of applications now don't let you sign in with email and password. They make you submit an email and then they send you the sign-in link. That's pretty normal in our, in today's current environment, like online world, right? It's pretty normal. That's how my system works. So even with the step-by-step instructions, click this link, sign in. She sent us a screenshot back with cussing us out. Like, this is bullshit. Who are you? What is wrong with you people? I keep getting a sign in, a place to put my email, but nowhere to put my password. This is bullshit. What is wrong with you people? No kidding. And it's a magic link sign in. And so anyway, I just refunded her punk ass. And I sent, and I really wanted to reply back and just say cause she cussed out my support staff and everything else. And I really wanted to jump in and, call her out and let her know how stupid she was. But you don't do that, right? As a business owner, you don't do that. So I didn't. I just said, hi, whatever your name is, refund process, regards, and left it at that. But the point that I'm trying to make is that is precisely the type of, because my support manager, Chris, or our support manager, Chris, who was doing he's helping with some support stuff at Semantic Links right now. Um, he he responded to me in Slack like he was going to try to try to save the sale, and I said no. I don't want anything to do with this woman. You see what I'm saying? Because this is clearly going to be a problem. No matter what, it's going to require a lot of additional support and attention, and she'll probably never be happy. And so that is precisely the exact example. That is a perfect example of contracts. You see what I'm saying? Let's say that I had that call with her and I had convinced her to close her on some sort of a sale. She made it. She made a purchase. So I did close her on that call. It was for something very minor, but let's just say that I closed her and it was something that was under contract. Now I would be forced to work with her. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want that. And so if we're not producing results for our clients or customers, they should be able to cancel. If I find that the customer is unreasonable or somebody that just communicates poorly, like is aggressive with their communication or just, is combative, which happens, forget it. I don't want to work with you either. I don't need your money that bad. You know what I mean? Like, and so honest to God, I don't like contracts at all. To answer your question, I've not used contracts. In my career, I've used them a couple of times, and it's typically when the client requires a contract. And I've learned now to turn those types of offers down, those types of engagements down, because I do not want to be locked into a contract. I look at it this way. If I'm doing a good job, you should want to continue paying me. And if I'm not, you should be able to cancel. But likewise, if you're a pain in my ass, and I tell clients that. I tell, by the way, Semantic Links or SEOs and agencies when I get on sales calls, I tell them the same thing. If they ask, they say, "Well, what type of contract or what type of commitment are you looking for?" I always tell them, "Look, I don't work on contracts. We do month to month. I always ask for a verbal commitment for a minimum of 3 months for us to show you results, but you're not locked in you're not contractually obligated to commit to those 3 months." And I tell them exactly what I just said. Look, if we're not producing results, you should be able to cancel. But if you turn out to be a pain in my ass, I should be able to cut ties with you as well. And they usually giggle at that point. You know what I mean? So, but again, I try to be transparent about that type of stuff. And that's why this lady, I just refunded her after three attempts at trying to show her how to. The only out of 3.5 years I've been running Semantic Links now, this was the very first time that somebody just could not figure out how to submit. And so, do you think it's my system is the problem, or do you think it was her? The answer is very clear. And so I already said, if she can't even figure out something as simple with even step-by-step instructions on how to submit an order detail, she's always going to be trouble. And who the hell wants to work with somebody like that? Certainly not me. And by the way, those types of people, they will never be successful, right? Because it's never them. It's always somebody else's fault. Why the world is against them at every turn, right? That's how they see and view the world. That's clearly how she viewed the world. You see what I'm saying? You can't help people like that. And if you get involved with people like that, all it's going to do is cause stress and hurt, stress and, you know, um, just additional stress and problems for you, right? Unnecessary stress. That's what I'm looking for. Okay.